In the news tonight, 15,000 villagers unvaccinated. Maritime islands remain a concern. And Fijians warned against housing grant scam.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. A high number of people living in villages along the Kings and Queens Highway have not been vaccinated, causing some concerns days ahead of a possible lifting of containment borders. Speaking during the Radio Fiji One's Nailalakai program, Prime Minister Morenge Bainimarama revealed he is worried that there are more than 15,000 unvaccinated Fijians. Sani Nimbola reports the figure was collated by the Itauke Affairs Ministry during visits to villages.
15,866 people living along the main highways have not received their first and second doses.
Those of you who haven't got the vaccination will face a lot of challenges. The fact of the matter is that we have lost a lot of lives to COVID-19 because they haven't got the jab. What are you still waiting for? There will come a time when you try to get the jab, and it is all too late because there are no more vaccines available.
Bainimarama says the Health Ministry, together with other government agencies, are carrying out robust awareness on the need to get the jab to save every Fijian from the virus.
Frontliners are visiting homes to ensure that the target population get the vaccine to save the vulnerable group, especially children. Your decision to not get the vaccine will not only affect you, but those that stay with you.
The Itauke Affairs Minister has also given the green light for various meetings in Itauke villages to resume.
We have now approved for villages to conduct their meetings. For no meetings, so there is a need for villages to continue with the COVID-safe protocols. It should be part of our lives now.
Bainimarama adds, with Fiji about to hit 60% full vaccination, now is not the time for Fijians to become complacent. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
The COVID-19 situation in maritime islands continue to be a concern for the Ministry of Health. Permanent Secretary Dr. James Fong says Kandavu and Naviti have entered the mitigation phase because the first evidence of the outbreak was a death related to the virus. Dr. Fong says the disease was circulating in both the communities for quite a while before the ministry became aware. Kritika Kumar reports.
The Permanent Secretary says movement restrictions and targeted village lockdowns for Tawawa village and the villages in Yawetikina remain in force.
I know that in Kandavu we are beginning to get ahead of our mitigation phases, following up all the vulnerable persons and positive cases, and our attempts to ensure that those positive cases and vulnerable cases are monitored.
Some patients from Kandavu were airlifted to the mainland and are recovering well. Dr. James Fong says travel restriction remains for the whole of Naviti Island.
Everybody in the island who have an upper respiratory tract infection or feel a sore throat or any symptoms similar to COVID-19, they need to get a swab done.
The Minister for Health continues to urge Fijians to get vaccinated so that measures could be eased to some extent.
With our policy at the moment in terms of being fully vaccinated and then travel, that actually means that that the ability to actually travel across, and those who will be able to travel across will not be able to unless they are fully vaccinated.
As of Friday, 97% of target population have received at least one dose and 57.7% are now fully vaccinated. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
High numbers of public health infringement notices continue to be issued on a daily basis as hundreds of Fijians disregard COVID-safe protocols. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Gilio says this is concerning as such behavior will only slow down our road to recovery. Kelly Vadala reports.
With containment borders in Vitilevu lifting soon, the police force is reminding Fijians that public health restrictions remain.
I just reiterate the call for people to be responsible. It is concerning that the numbers continue to rise as government and Ministry of Health leads us on a pathway of getting out of the current restrictions.
In a 24-hour period, police issued as many as 171 public health infringement notices, with failure to wear a mask topping the list.
And it's concerning that people continue to disregard these directives, which will only slow down our process of getting out of these restrictions.
Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama says if people are to return to some sense of normalcy, responsible behavior is a must.
This war is about to end. We all have to play our part. The frontliners are doing all they can to fight the battle, so it's crucial for all eligible Fijians to get vaccinated.
The Ministry of Health had earlier advised that these measures will be in place for some time and police will continue to enforce the law accordingly. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
Fijians have been warned not to engage with any agents or middlemen promising to secure first home and first land grants. An individual has been making posts on Facebook claiming to help secure up to $30,000 in housing grants. FBC News contacted the person behind the posts and was told that his company is a contractor for the government. He also asked for copies of birth certificates, tax identification numbers and a photo ID to be sent to him to process applications for housing grants. However, Permanent Secretary for Housing, Sanjeeva Pereira, says the ministry does not accept direct applications. The only legitimate way to apply is through a commercial bank, the Housing Authority of Fiji, the Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources, or the Itauke Land Trust Board. And to our latest COVID-19 update for today, Fiji recorded 143 new COVID-19 infections for the period ending at 8 a.m. yesterday. 86 cases are from the Western Division, 55 from the Central, and 2 from the Eastern Division. There has been 1 new COVID-19 death. Fiji has recorded 48,788 cases since April this year. There are now 12,861 active cases with 35,099 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll now stands at 535. The vaccination campaign also continues around the country. 568,998 or 97% of adults in Fiji have received their first dose of the vaccine, and 338,251 or 57.7% have been fully vaccinated. The 5 most vaccinated areas are Mba, Rewa, Nadrongai, Naitasiri, all of which are 100% first jab, and then Nandi. 81-year-old Govinda Sami Rao of Tambuka says he is proud to be fully vaccinated and is encouraging everyone to follow his example. Up ahead, government promotes export strategy. And Bulitavu says he's not a traitor. Welcome back. Fiji's national export strategy is seen as a viable program for local businesses which need a boost in the midst of a struggling economy. Minister for Trade and Commerce Fayaz Koya says companies can secure grants of up to $100,000 under this strategy. Since 2007, the program has assisted about 114 existing and new exporters, amounting to over $15 million.
The strategy issues grants for businesses which address import substitution, increase foreign exchange and exports.
The program is crucial in this trying time, especially when the Fijian economy, business activity, employment and socio-economic conditions are battered by the COVID-19 crisis.
Every business has been affected, and I think I probably want to say that it comes down to how well are they prepared,
Koya says funding is available for those wanting to enter the international market, diversifying exports and in turn create jobs.
The program serves as a path forward in curbing the trade deficit through targeting priority sectors in the development of niche products and services for exports, such as fisheries, such as forestry, agro-business, and also for manufacturing.
The government is also expanding the scope of which businesses can be assisted under this strategy.
We also encourage applications from micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, or businesses owned and operated by our youth or women that are exporting or are on the verge of exporting.
Applications for the grants close this Friday. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Social Democratic Liberal Party MP Mosese Bulitavu has defended himself against claims that he has betrayed SODELPA supporters. Party leader William Ngavoka yesterday claimed that SODELPA voters feel betrayed by Bulitavu after he supported Bill 17 and the budget in Parliament. Bulitavu, in response, says Ngavoka is playing cheap politics, adding that he secured more votes for SODELPA in the 2018 general election than the party leader.
My voters are stable. My voters are there. They are supporting me. And I think he's just claiming our votes. Even Mr. Rambuka's 77,000 votes by claiming that I represent 181,000. From that, he has lesser votes than me and many other members in the current SODELPA caucus.
And companies who have extraction licenses from the Lands Ministry can be issued a stop work order if they are seen illegally extracting sand, soil or gravel. Assistant Minister for Lands, Josefa Matana, says there are other enforcement agencies that can come in to prosecute those breaching laws and policies associated with sand and gravel extraction. With the increase in illegal sand and gravel extraction, Matana says the ministry issues the license for both state land and native land sand, and a checklist needs to be ticked before the approvals are given.
Agencies that come in that have powers with regards to these illegal extractions, like the Department of Environment and of course the police, and then for those that already have licenses with us, they have conditions of their license that we need them to abide by. We can penalize them through the requirements of the State Lands Act.
Find or learn a new skill set if the one you have is not producing expected results. These are the sentiments of Mohammed Shahid, who had to close his handicraft business because of the pandemic and is now excelling in making kites. Kritika Kumar with this success story.
Born and raised in Suva, Mohammed Shahid always had a passion for kites, but it has now become his livelihood.
I closed my shop. Then I started my business as a kite. I was looking for the kite paper. We can't find any kite paper. I was really struggling making the color for the paper. Just can't do it. Then and I don't know, how I get the talent. Then I get all these colors. I make my kite all different colors.
After being in the handicraft line for more than 40 years, the Kite King took a flight once again. Shahid's one-of-a-kind kites have become famous even outside the mainland.
I've got a fixed lines to wear, but like online, like I put in the Facebook, right? Maybe in the buy and sell. Then guys, they call me, I make special order for them. Like, what you want? You want a plain kite or what do you want? Even I send it to Lambasa too. Just 2 weeks ago, I sent Lambasa.
The 63-year-old says the rains and cold weather also affect the business.
Something I'm just doing that, just roll over, no? It's rainy weather, you can't sell kite. No one's going to go and buy the kite now, all right? Maybe whole of this week rain, then nothing to do. But still, I'm going to do something, make some kite and just put it over, no? Even I don't supply to the shop.
Confined to their homes due to the coronavirus lockdown, both Fijians have suddenly found a passion for kite flying, which turned into a positive response for Shahid.
If you try to do anything, you can do it. And if you're going to sit down to wait for something to come, no.
Shahid believes life is difficult no matter what, but hard work and commitment make it a lot easier. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, sprint queen to join Fijiana team. And Rabbitohs create upset in NRL final. This and more coming up. Welcome back. Andi Vakumbau School sprint queen Naomi Navunga is one of Fijiana head coach Sayasi Fuli's recent finds. Originally from Ba, Navunga has been impressive on the tracks and fully believes she has what it takes to be exceptional on the rugby field as well. Karlani Tavi with this story.
Look at the power!
Fijiana coach Sayasi Fuli believes Navunga is one of the future stars of women's rugby in Fiji.
I've tested her twice and she's very impressive, and we've signed her for the next 2 weeks to join our squad.
Since making headlines at the Tokyo Olympics, interest to join the Fijiana team has grown.
I'm very impressed with the numbers coming up. It's 40 to 50 girls inquiring and asking, and I've got an open door policy, but we have to go through that process. We have to screen them, we have to test them, and we have to guide them through a proper setup pathway.
Plans are also in place to set up a high-performance unit for young and upcoming sevens players like Navunga.
We want alignment throughout our programs. And that doesn't just mean for our 15s, we're talking about our sevens, we're talking about both genders, male and female. We want alignment throughout our program. So that's what we've been working for the last 2 years, and we will continue to develop that.
With the Commonwealth Games, Super W and HSBC 7 Series coming up, Fuli is expecting the numbers to increase. Karlini Tavi, FBC Sport.
Rabbitohs created a major upset last night after beating Panthers 16-10 in week 1 of the NRL final. South Sydney will now advance to their 4th consecutive preliminary final, while Penrith will play the winner of the elimination final between Parramatta and Newcastle. The Titans' season ended with a dramatic 25-24 loss to the 5th place Roosters elimination final last night. A strong second half from the Roosters saw veteran and captain James Tedesco scoring the winning try to book them a spot in next week's final. Making a return after 12 years, it was as if Cristiano Ronaldo never left as the crowd at Old Trafford chanted his name. Ronaldo made his presence felt, scoring a double in the side's 4-1 win over Newcastle United today. Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku reintroduced himself in a big way at Stamford Bridge after netting a double in Chelsea's 3-0 win over Aston Villa. The Belgian scored his first ever goals to maintain Chelsea's unbeaten start to the season. Emma Raducanu ended Britain's 44-year drought for women's Grand Slam singles champion after beating Leylah Fernandez to win the US Open today. Showers and thunderstorms was experienced over most parts of the group today. Looking at the west, brief showers in the morning with a chance of thunderstorms later tonight. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, the day started off with rain but turned out to be nice and sunny in the afternoon. Up north, similar conditions prevailed. At sea, northeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas, moderate southerly swells. The next high tide is at 11:03 tonight, low tide at 5:25 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:07. For tomorrow, some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, the Lau and Lomaiviti groups. Elsewhere, cloudy periods with afternoon or evening showers and isolated thunderstorms. The outlook for Tuesday, more showers are forecast for over most places. Recapping our main stories, 15,000 villagers unvaccinated, maritime islands remain a concern, and Fijians warned against housing grant scam. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we're asking, will you get your child vaccinated when the vaccine becomes available for those between 12 to 17 years? Visit our website to take part. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos via email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our various social media accounts. Also, download our FBC app to keep updated with the very latest in news and sports and listen to our 6 radio stations live. That's your news for tonight. You have a safe week ahead. Wadamanda.